Okay.
Now, you have kind of a tangential connection to this story in some ways. So I want to talk about the reintroduction of the UAPDA, which Chuck Schumer is helming this time. Now, it was him, and I believe it was Mike Rounds the
Right.
last time, and it was, correct me if I'm wrong, it did not make it into the last National Defense Authorization.
Nope.
But Schumer's not giving up. And what he wants to do is kind of go at it from the side and use it as an amendment to try to get it in. And look, like these national defense bills or whatever are so big and massive
Yeah.
that, like, it's like I imagine it as this giant snail going down a road and inconsequentially picking up little things on the way that are like, oh, I'm gonna hitch a ride on this, that's like,
Great analogy. It's
I don't know
exactly what
where
it
that
feels
came
like.
from. I have no idea where that came from. But yeah, like if you can't get it in as a bill itself or whatnot, like let's try to slide it in an amendment under something to do with the defense or
Right.
this or that. So that's what he's trying to do. Now the big contention is with many out there, nothing has changed from the
So that begs
original.
1,000 questions. Yeah.
Yeah, which you would think it didn't work the first time. It's like insanity, which
Right.
the definition is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different result. Um, why did they think that not changing anything would work? I don't know.
I don't either. And there is an audio from Matt Laszlo at Askapol. If you're not following him, everyone, I would suggest that you do. He is fearless in getting in these politicians' faces and into their offices, and he just doesn't give up. But he got Schumer to tell him on this exact question that basically the person who was in the way last time isn't around anymore. So is that one positive piece of the puzzle? I think it is. We're still stuck with this eminent domain thing, though, and I just don't see how we're going to get around that. But I also have this distinct sense that they know something we don't know about why it might work this time. And perhaps this one person who's now out of the way, which I think was named Turner, Representative Turner, um, maybe maybe this was something that just one little Dutch boy with his finger in the dike, in the hole in the dike could, once he's, you know, his fingers out, it rolls. Hard to imagine, but maybe.
I'm so happy you brought it up, the eminent domain, and I understand the logic behind what you just mentioned there, but I do want to go back to that. And you and I have talked off air about this quite a bit. I am vehemently against this part of the UAPDA. Dan Zetterstrom and I talked about this just last week or the week before. Excuse me,
Right.
I didn't do a live stream last week about the good things in there, which is this like review board.
Right.
Genius, love it.
Great idea.
Get
Put
that through
experts in who are in this field who can analyze it appropriately and address issues related to it.
with no preconceived notions, no UFO baggage, nothing.
Right.
Love it. Love it. That's awesome. The release of more files, always obviously for that. But this eminent domain thing
I know.
haunts my dreams, my
Yep.
nightmares, I should
Yep.
say. Because when you look at this term eminent domain, it just reeks of non transparency
It
rather
does.
than transparency.
And over
Now,
control. It's over control as well.
yes, exactly. Over control. Okay, so I didn't even think about people like uh um Brandon Fugel.
Oh, yeah.
Now
But
I
I
do
also want you
remember
to
him
think
talking
about
about
it.
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I also want you to think about it, not just the Brandon Fugels and the Skinwalker Ranches who are doing their very own work with the government out of their business, private science. Think about that language in regard to people like Bob Lazar and Element 1519, whatever it
115.
was, 115. So it's scary to me that this reads so well on its surface, like, gosh, this is a good plan, but it is absolutely correct on Mr. Greenwald's part, that it is a construct for trouble. And, I don't understand how they think the Lockheed Martins are going to respond to the eminent domain thing. These people, Skinwalker Ranch included, Brandon Fugel, have spent God only knows how much of their own money. And now Lockheed may also be spending taxpayer dollars, and that's a different line for me. But there are also sort of the Bob Lazars out there who claim to have a piece of this or that or whatever. Can it all just be scooped up and black boxed? Is it actually constructed, this act, to fail, and not just fail politically, but fail disclosure?
Mm, very good point. It does seem, like John said, that this was almost written to fail. The other one that always really got to me was how many times they use the wording NHI
Yes.
in the UAPDA. Now, I mean, the the alien brain in me, the alien loving brain in me is like, yeah, like just like rip the band-aid off, put it in there, NHI, put it in there 50 times. Like, let's get to the heart of it. Is it non-human intelligence? But then the other part of me is like, they're gonna look at that and laugh and say, denied. I don't know. This it just seems like a lot of the wording in this thing it it seems like it was thought out. I'm not going to say it wasn't. I'm sure it went through a committee. I'm sure a lot of thought and time went into it. However, seeing it fail and seeing the things in it not come to fruition makes me think there has to be a better way of doing
There
this,
has to
some
be.
way, somehow.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
has to be. And a really bright lawyer connected to my group of lawyers was working so hard on what he calls a registration act. So take away this obligation or this right of the government to snatch away from you your work and simply require registration and then put a review board in. And you could do, I can see how the two acts could then be blended sort of to get to a workable framework that didn't set us all up to fail.
Hmm.
But that was heartily rejected. And they were determined to go forward with this act again as basically failed the first time. So I think we just keep watching and
Yeah.
see what it is. I think it did pass in the Senate and now the House has it. Did that happen late in the day, yesterday, or the day before?
Oh,
But
I don't know.
but that's where its trouble was before. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, your better half. No, not your better half. Your second half. you're
He's
both you're both the best.
here.
He had a good comment here. Doesn't eminent domain require compensation to the person whose property is being taken? Now,
You can tell
I,
Lawyer
I do
Landers
wonder.
is thinking on this as well. He's a lawyer as well. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure you all just want to eavesdrop on our very lawyerly discussions with each other. But
Oh my gosh, I
yes,
can
he's
imagine.
correct. They can't just take it. Well, they can just take it, but they have to pay you for it. And it happens all the time on public right of ways that where we need easements for highways, railroads, utilities. That is all taken through the legal process of legal domain. Uh, eminent domain, and but then you have to get the experts involved on what exactly is a tic tax value if we're going to take it away from Lockheed Martin. Does our government even have that much money? I don't know.
Right.
But you can see the layers of legal complexity and financial complexity that come with pushing this
Yeah.
concept. It's just highly unworkable, or so it seems to me.
What we need is for Pawn Stars to come back, the TV show Pawn Stars, and
Yes.
someone to bring the Tic Tac in there, and for them to say, "Best I can do is $30."
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
wait, watch
know.
what this tic tac does. You're going to pay us 50. Yeah.
Right, right. Wait, didn't you see the official Navy UFO video? Come on,
Yeah,
that thing
right.
zipped away.
Right. Worth at least 50. Yeah.
Have you not been paying attention to the New York Times since 2017? this thing is worth at least $40. Come on, come on.
Well, I think we might
Yeah.
learn a little more about kind of what's going on as the House dissects it and amends it, if that's what they choose. So I don't know. I'll just sit and watch one more time, right? It's so frustrating. I feel like that's all we do is sit and watch,
Oh
wait,
yeah.
ask more questions.
Yep. Well, hey, I'm all for the registering thing. I think that's a wonderful idea. If anyone within, of any sphere of influence when it comes to the wording in these things happens to be watching this or listening, like all the power to you. But like I would look at this registration thing again, give it a second look, see how you could possibly incorporate that into the eminent domain thing and work with it because I can tell you right now the eminent domain thing, it's not going to fly. I don't care if they think they know more than us, the people wording this thing. Um, it's dumb.
It is.
In That's coming from me. That I do not want to speak for Suzanne because I know you're working with people who have influence of these things. But coming from me, the dumb UFO researcher who doesn't know legalities, doesn't know how a lot of this stuff works. I am still 100% against this eminent domain thing, and I will not change my mind.
And don't discount your opinion because, lawyers and politicians can silo themselves
Mhm.
intellectually, right? You can be in enough of an echo chamber that you forget what the average person thinks about this and that might matter. And so I think it's a really good example of what ought to be taken into consideration by those in power. Is really, how's this striking every man? And when they look at their own business, do they want someone wandering in and just taking things for pennies on the dollar, or to buy? Think about it. If you were trying to defend your podcast taking away, how would you value that? What would
Mhm.
you be spending in lawyers and experts? I mean, it's not okay. It's not
Yeah.
okay.
We have seen what Americans will do when the government tries to take their guns from them. Can you imagine if they tried to take your
Your
UFO?
your Tic
I
Tac,
don't think so. I don't think so.
your Element 115. No, no,
Yeah,
thank you.
not happening. Not happening.
Right.
Yeah.